Hi guys, thanks for joining today's session. So last class we completed our journey with Journey Builder, where we built a mini project inside the Journey Builder. We updated data back to Salesforce. We actually worked on a mini project where we created a cloud page to capture the feedback form. And once we captured that feedback form, we passed that data back to Salesforce. What we did was we created a Salesforce task. Today we will work with last topic in Journey Builder, which is Journey Builder APIs, or you can say Salesforce Marketing Cloud APIs. Till now, whatever we have done, whether we have defined data extension as an entry source, or we have defined Salesforce data as an entry source, all these entry sources are not real time in nature. There would be some delay. For example, if you have data extension as an entry source, the data has to be uploaded inside the data extension and journey should be passed via automation. Salesforce data is a real time data but only works with Salesforce instance, like the updates happening on Sales and Service Cloud. It won't read any real time updates happened on Marketing Cloud. We already worked on invoice transaction project. In this invoice transaction project, we already worked where whatever purchases customers were making, we had to send them an invoice. We understood that how to upload that data inside the multiple different data extensions. We understood how we can send emails to those data inside the data extension. We understood sending emails manually. We understood sending emails using automation. We understood sending emails using journey. But whatever emails we are sending using automation journey to that data extension were non real time in nature. That means always there was a slight delay, at least 10-15 minutes, or we were expecting data to come. We already had purchase specification and profile data extensions where the data will come and then emails will be sent. But generally, invoices are not sent with delays. They are sent with, I should say, in real time approach. Whenever you go and purchase some product from Amazon, you get invoice triggered automatically to your email address. So to work with real time data, whenever you get data inside the data extension, to work with real time transactions, we require Salesforce Marketing Cloud APIs. Salesforce Marketing Cloud APIs are of two types: REST APIs and SOAP APIs. REST APIs are the APIs which we work for contact builder, content builder, group connect, journey connect, mobile connect, and mobile push. SOAP APIs we work with automations, content, subscribers list, tracking, triggered sends. All these are SOAP APIs. So in order to work with Journey Builder, we will be using REST APIs. There is no such difference between REST and SOAP API. Just methods are different. Okay. These are the two different APIs. REST APIs are a bit faster for real-time transactions. SOAP APIs are a bit slower than REST APIs. So to trigger journeys, automations, we have different kind of APIs. Journeys always require a real-time approach many times. So we require REST API. Now to create APIs, to work with APIs, we require three things. What are the three things we require? We require client ID and client secret. What is client ID and client secret? Client ID and client secret are the client credentials which API will use to log in. API will use to log in, like you log into Salesforce Marketing Cloud. once you log into Salesforce Marketing Cloud, you require user ID and password. The same way, APIs will log into Marketing Cloud using client ID and client secret. Once client ID and client secrets are validated, Marketing Cloud will return an access token. Like you log in with username and password, you get an approval on the authenticator app. Similarly, when APIs will log into Marketing Cloud using client ID and client secret, Marketing Cloud will return the access token. That access token is a two-factor authentication type of thing. Once Marketing Cloud returns this access token, you can use that token to trigger REST and SOAP APIs. Now, to work with APIs, we require a new kind of journey entry event, which is API event. We require a new kind of Salesforce entry event, which is API event. What is API event? API events are the events which are triggered via an API call from a third-party system. What is a third-party system? A third-party system can be a system from where the transactions are happening. For example, a website on which a transaction has happened. For example, a mobile application on which a transaction has happened, or any other third-party system. So, we will use API event as an entry event inside the journey. Now, this API event requires a data extension. Why data extension? Data extensions are required because APIs will put that data somewhere inside the Marketing Cloud and then trigger the journey. For example, if somebody has made a transaction or signed up, then their data first will come to a data extension, and then that data will flow in real time to journey. For now, automations journeys are using non-real time approach. That means there is always a delay, except Salesforce data. But if somebody has made a transaction on a third-party website which is not Salesforce, like a WordPress website or any other website, a mobile application, and you want to trigger a transaction response immediately, you have to get that data stored inside this data extension in real time. So for that, API will be used. And the second step would be, once that data is stored inside this data extension, it has to trigger the journey for sending communication like welcome email or any other kind of thing. So this data extension we will use for our API event. Suppose new transactions have happened, new profiles were created. So they will initially come to this our profile data extension. New profiles are created, so they will be initially coming to this profile data extension. So what we will do, we will link this API event with this data extension. This API event is an entry source. We will link with that data extension. So whatever data entry is happening in this data extension will be listened by this journey API event. Now you cannot manually upload data and journey won't listen it. The data has to come via API only. Suppose you link this data extension with this API event, and if you try to manually upload the data, journey won't receive that data. The data should be uploaded inside this data extension via API. We have seen various methods to upload data till now. We have seen manual upload, we have seen upload via SFTP, we have seen synchronization, like how to synchronize data from Sales Cloud, Service Cloud to Marketing Cloud. That is also a data upload inside data extensions. And the most fastest way we are going to see is via API. So any transactions have happened and you want to trigger a response in real time, then you have to use Journey Builder, and inside Journey Builder you have to use API event as an entry source. Once you use API event as an entry source, you have to link the data extension where the initial data will come. So I will go and link the data extension, which is our profile data extension. So new subscriber profile data extension I have linked with this API event. Now, as I have linked that data extension with this API event, a new API event key is generated. This API event key is crucial for us. Whenever API call will hit Marketing Cloud, it has to hit this journey. If this journey is not hit, the communications won't be sent. So it will be asked in your interview. It will be asked in your interview. What will be asked? Explain the process of real-time transactions. In real-time transactions, you have to use Journey Builder API event as an entry source. Once you use API events as an entry source, you have to configure a data extension which will receive the incoming data from third-party platform via API. Link that data extension with Journey Builder API event as an entry source. Once you link that data extension with API event as an entry source, an event definition key will be generated. This event definition key will be helpful. This event definition key will be helpful to trigger journeys. Now, once data will come to this journey via API, what next we have to do? We have to send them email. The same invoice transaction email which we have built. We have to send them the email. So let me configure that email. We have already built that email earlier. So let me configure that. So invoice email was the email which we have built. This was the email which we have built, if you remember, where we are displaying product purchased, customer's first name, last name, and everything. So we will configure this email. So once data comes via API in real time, this email will be sent. Send classification we can choose. We can choose send classification which we have built. Sender profile, or let me choose a send classification which will be a transactional send classification. So now this event journey we have configured. We will define a journey setting here, re-entry anytime, and activate this journey. So this is the first step we have to perform for working on the transactions. We will activate this journey. So now this journey will not consume data directly from this data extension. There has to be an API call which will put data inside this data extension and hit this event journey. And the event journey's event definition key is this. This is the most important thing.